What's poppin', dogs? Mr. Allen here with some ACT math prep focused on rational equations and expressions. And I definitely think these are some of the more challenging problems that you'll encounter on the ACT. I mean, it's one of the toughest units in Algebra 2 Honors. So I got a bunch of different examples for you guys here. Let's get after it, get some good practice going, and crush on the ACT. First one here, what is the least common denominator for x plus 2 over x squared minus 1 plus x squared minus 9 over 7x minus 7? Well, if it's asking just for the least common denominator, I got to figure out what the denominators are made up of. I need to factor them. So can we factor x squared minus 1? Yes. This is going to be x minus 1, x plus 1. Okay, so that's one denominator. How about the 7x minus 7? Can I factor that? Yes. I can take out a 7 and I'm left with x minus 1. Okay, so both denominators have an x minus 1. Cool. So that's one piece of the puzzle. You only need that once for them, right? You're also going to need this guy right here, the x plus 1, and you're also going to need the 7. So do we have that choice? A 7 times an x minus 1 times an x plus 1? Yes, we do. It is choice J. I'm feeling jolly. I hope that starts with a J. Yes, it does. Or is it a G? I don't know. Anyways, J is our answer. But for this next one, we have which of the following expressions is equivalent to 4 over c squared times c plus 2 over c? Well, all we need to really do is just multiply the numerators, multiply the denominators. So I would have 4c plus, what's that going to be? 4 times 2 is 8 over, and then my denominator is c squared times c, that is c cubed. What's nice about multiplying rationals, multiplying fractions, is you just multiply across. When you're adding or subtracting, you've got to get that common denominator. So do we have this as a choice here? We do. It is k. That one was pretty easy. Nice. Awesome. Next problem. Ooh, all right. Now we're getting crazy here, guys. We got a complex fraction in this one. That means fractions in fractions, stacks on stacks, racks on racks. Let's get into it. For all a does not equal 0 and b does not equal 0, the expression 2 over a plus 2 over b over 3 divided by ab simplifies to what? Well, let's see here. First off, the a does not equal 0 and b does not equal 0. That's just like a mathematical formality to say that we're not going to divide by 0. Because if a was 0, you'd be dividing by 0. Or if b was 0, you'd be dividing by 0. And you can't do that. So they just define it. Cool? You're not going to do any math with those. But what we do need to remember is that when you're dividing by a fraction, you can write it as multiplication by multiplying by the reciprocal. Some people say keep, change, flip. But here's how we're going to write it now. So we're going to have 2 over a plus 2 over b times ab over 3. So I flipped the denominator and changed it to multiplication. So now let's work with this a little bit. I've got 2a, you can just multiply numerators, you can distribute through, multiply denominators. So I've got 2ab over 3a plus 2ab over 3b. Is that a choice? Probably not. But let's see here. If I cancel some a's, cancel some b's, I have 2b over 3 plus 2a over 3. Is that a choice? No. Darn. Hold up. Could I rewrite this as 2a plus 2b, and you might see the answer now, over 3? Oh my goodness, still not an answer. But if I factor out this 2 here, I'm left with a plus b, and that is all over 3. Do I finally have my answer there? Yes, it is choice D. That is dope. When a does not equal 0, which of the following is equivalent to 1 over a plus 2 over 3? So once again, guys, with the a does not equal 0, we're just defining it so that we're not dividing by 0 right here in the 1 over a. You don't do any math with it, right? It's a formality. Okay. Now, it looks like we all have single fractions for our answers, which means I got to get this into one fraction, which means I need a common denominator for this thing. So how do I get my denominators to be the same? Well, these are totally different from each other. They have no common factors, so I will just multiply by each other. A over a, 3 over 3, okay? So that means I'm going to have 3 times 1 is 3 over 3a, plus, then I have 2a over 3a. Now, a lot of people are like, can I cancel the a's? Then you just undid what you just did. Don't do that. We got the same denominators, so I'll have 3 plus 2a, and let's just say, fingers crossed that we have this answer here. It looks like it is choice D. That's dope. All right, dogs, one last problem for you here, and it is a bit of a doozy. It definitely looks pretty intimidating there. That's a lot going on in all those answers, but I promise you it's actually not that bad. And also, thank you guys for sticking around throughout this entire video. I hope you absolutely crush it on your ACT, but let's first crush this problem and call it a day. All right, we got the rational equation, y over y minus 4 plus 2 over y plus 1 equals y minus 5 over y squared minus 3y minus 4 has the same solution set as which of the following equations? What? Do I need to solve each one of those and solve this? No. Check this out. One of our strategies for solving rational equations is figuring out your common denominator and then multiplying both sides of the equation by said common denominator. And that's what we're going to do. But first step is I got to factor anything that can be factored. So what multiplies to negative 4 and adds to negative 3? That's going to be negative 4 and positive 1. Spoiler alert, it's oftentimes these two denominators right here that are the two factors for the other guy. Not always, but oftentimes. So this is my least common denominator, right? It has all the elements of all the denominators. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to multiply both sides of the equation by that common denominator, which means I'm going to get all of these numerators multiplied by it. So we're going to have y minus 4, y plus 1, y minus 4, y plus 1, and y minus 4, y plus 1. Now what's going to happen? Well, these guys cancel, right? Leaving me with y times y plus 1. Cool. My y plus 1's cancel, leaving me with 2 times y minus 4. And then if we think of this guy here as the factored form now, both of those gone, and I'm left with y minus 5. Now, before I go ham and do anything, do I even have that choice sitting right there at letter A? That is awesome. I don't have to do anything further. I am done with this one. Woo, that's dope, man. I know there's other ways of thinking about this one. Sometimes what people do is they just say, okay, I'm going to get my least common denominator. Whatever this one's missing, that's what goes up in the numerator. This is actually what's happening. It's canceling out. But that's another way of thinking about it. You're like, oh, this one doesn't have a y plus 1, so it's going to have that in the numerator. This one doesn't have a y minus 4, so that's going to be left in the numerator. But there we go, guys. Same solution set. Bingo, bango. A is the answer. Thank you guys again for sticking around throughout this entire video. If you have any questions or have requests for particular topics, videos, whatever it may be, pop it in the comments or just say what up. I'll say what up back. Have a wonderful day, guys. Crush on the ACT, and thanks again for watching. See you later.